enough with the tools. Let's actually start learning some Android development. So I'm going to close out all these other files that I opened up. And for now, I'm going to close preview as well. And we're going to look at this layout file. So this was under res layout activity_main.xml. And let's discuss XML. So there's two main languages that we're going to be seeing in Android development. And those are Java, which is the programming language. And then there's XML. So XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. And what it boils down to is it's a way of describing data with text. So let me give you a sort of more straightforward example than what's going on here for how we could use XML. So right now I'm just going to cut this so I can paste it later. So Command X. And let's say I want to describe a person. So the way I describe a person is, well, I'm just going to write it. And there we go. That's a person. That's a person described in XML. What we have here is an opening tag, and here we have a closing tag. These little brackets, the greater than, less than sign, are what sort of indicate that it's a tag. And this backslash, or just slash, is what closes off this tag. So again, this is an opening tag, and this is a closing tag. So let's make this a little bit more specific. What I want to do is describe my family with XML. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to describe my mom. And what I'm typing here, mom, is the element name. So this whole thing is called an element. And in fact, it's the root element because it's the element at the top. I can put elements inside of it as well. So what goes inside of an element? Well, it's children. So child. And now we have one element inside of another. And what that indicates is a parent-child relationship. So this is the parent, this is the child. Again, this is the root element. And we can even go further and say grandchild. Another thing that you're going to see is self-closing tags. So the grandchild actually has no children. So we can just put the slash in the opening tag at the end. And this means that we don't need to put the other tag, the closing tag. So this is both opens and closes. There's no children, so we don't need to have an opening and closing tag. So I've described sort of the structure of the family, but I want to go a little bit deeper, and I want to say some things about the mom and the child, maybe even the grandchild. So my mom has a name. So the way I give the element a name is I just write the attribute that I want and then the value. So again, these are called attributes, and this is the value of the attribute. I could also say hometown and write New York. So this element, this mom element, has two attributes. This child element is going to have one attribute, and that's name as well, but it could be anything. And the grandchild has no attributes. So what I've done here is use a structured approach to describing a pretty complex relationship, which is a family of people with their own attributes. And this is actually something that a program can parse and understand and get meaning out of because it's structured. So Android uses XML for pretty much all of the user-facing things such as layouts. We saw it with styles and strings and menus. We'll even use it in the drawable folder in some instances. So of course, the layout is not going to be my family, We're going to paste back what we had before. And this is some XML that describes the user interface. So what it's doing is the root element is this relative layout, and inside of it, it has a text view. Now that's beyond what we know right now, but the important thing is to recognize this relationship, that the text view is a child of relative layout.